Alright, so welcome to part two. From here on in, the research tree becomes a little bit more flexible, depending on what things you may or may not find, and also any restrictions you may set on your games, such as no MC, no Disruptor pulse launchers, or if you set MC, you're only allowed to panic or something like that. Um, so you can kind of adjust it to your style and your restrictions. But let's just assume that you're playing a normal game where everything is allowed, then this research tree I'll post here will assume that kind of playstyle. Alright, so the first thing you want to do after you research Sonic Oscillator is to go ahead and research Disruptor Pulse Launcher. Um, Now, these things are really, really good because not only can you kill aliens from afar, but you can also open up new, safer entrances in alien ships for you to, you know, go into rather than the conventional entrances. So, if you don't have a DPL in stock to research, all you have to do is just go ahead and run down to an alien colony and go find a DPL there because most of them carry that there, and kill an alien with it, pick it up, and then dust off. And if while you're at it, you may as well just grab a live Tasseth as well, so you can research MC a bit later. So yeah, make sure you get it. The only prereq to DPL is researching Zerobyte first, but make sure you research. But make sure before you research Zerobyte, you have a DPL in your inventory. Otherwise, you may get a research bug. But yeah, it's a really good weapon. Make sure you grab it. Alright, so next up is the MC Disruptor. Now, if you grabbed a live Tassif when you went to the alien colony, or if you just managed to grab one along the way somewhere else, you can research MC Disruptor after you've done MC Lab, then MC Reader, then MC Disruptor. Just make sure when you're actually researching MC Lab, you already have an MC Reader in your inventory, otherwise you'll get a research bug. Yeah, so MC Disruptor, of course, you can use to panic and mind control other aliens. Probably the most overpowered weapon in the game. But yeah, some people will still use it or set restrictions on it. But if you don't, then seriously just get the MC Disruptor. And to be fair, nothing else really matters once you get mind control. It's just game's over. You win. But yeah, get it. It's good. Okay, so next up you want to get the transmission resolver. Now this one's a bit tricky, depending on the version that you're playing as well. You should need a Lobsterman navigator, which can be quite difficult to obtain. Usually they're running around without a weapon. So if you see a Lobsterman without a weapon and who hasn't panicked, he's either a technician who carries a shitload of grenades, which you should be careful with approaching, or a navigator. Now, if it's a later and you get the navigator, then transmission resolver is the first thing that you should get, because detecting USOs is one of the keys to victory in this game. So, and transmission resolver has a 100% detection rate. So, make sure you get it. It's really, really good. And yeah. Oh, and one last thing about the Lobsterman Navigator is make sure you research alien origins before you research the Lobsterman Navigator. Now, the reason for this is it just saves you a bit of time from actually capturing two Lobsterman commanders a bit later on, because researching alien origins, then Lobsterman Navigator will open up the ultimate threat to you, which is vital to completing the game. Okay, so once we've got our transmission resolver, we now need to get the best and final armor, the magnetic iron armor. As you can see here, there's only minor differences in the armor values, but the main thing here is being able to fly, which not only gives you more mobility in terms of moving around the map, but also gives your snipers a huge advantage because they can fly up into the air to level 4 and just destroy everything from the skies. But yeah, it's really, really good armor, and of course a prerequisite anyway, so you may as well just get it. Sorry, a prerequisite for completing the game, so you have to get it. Okay, so the next thing you want to get is the MANTA. It comes up on your research list as new fighter flying sub. And once you actually research this, you'll not only get MANTA, but you'll also be able to make your tanks now. In particular, the Sonic Displacer, which is the best tank in the game. But yeah, you need this as a prerequisite anyway, and mantas themselves are very, very good. So make sure you grab that, and yeah, you're good to go, and you can pretty much take down any USO with the manta. Oh, not, you can pretty much take them down with barracudas, but you can actually reach them in time because they're so fast with the manta, and that's probably the most important thing. Alrighty, so one of the last things that we need is the Leviathan, of course, to reach Teleth. Now, obviously, before you get the Leviathan, you have to research the Hammerhead first, which automatically pops up once you get the Mantle. The reason why I didn't list the Hammerhead there is because it's absolutely atrocious, and I don't see any reason to use it over um, the Triton because it can't hold any tanks. And of course, the Leviathan is not too far down the track anyway, so there's no you kind of waste your time and money manufacturing a Hammerhead anyway. Anyway, enough of that. To get the Leviathan, all you have to do is research Manta, Hammerhead, Lobsterman Commander, then Leviathan. Now make sure, this is really important, make sure that if you followed my research path correctly, after the Navigator you should have got the Ultimate Threat. Make sure you research the Ultimate Threat before you research your Lobsterman Commander, so that you can get your Leviathan and the final research line to get to Leth at the same time. Alright? Otherwise, you're going to have to capture another Lobsterman Commander to win the game, and that's just a real pain in the ass. Yeah, so make sure you do that properly. Of course, the Leviathan itself is the ultimate ship. I personally wouldn't use it to take down any USOs because I just use it as a Triton, like a really fast Triton, because you can use Mantis for that, and if it gets damaged, then the Leviathan takes ages and ages and ages to repair. And you know, it's not good to have a transporter on repair, because if a Terrasite pops up, you know, you can't even send anything to, you can't send your main force, which should be in the Leviathan, to the actual Terrasite, and that's going to be a bit of a problem. Okay, yep, Leviathan, it's excellent, it's endgame, that's where you want to be. Okay, so last but not least, we have Teleth. Now, obviously, once you research this, then this gives access to your Leviathan to be able to go to the final level. But yeah, it's the final stage. It's not too hard. I won't give any spoilers, but it's pretty easy, at least compared to some of the 2-level Terrasites anyway. But yeah, good luck. Oh, and I thought I would give a special mention to the GAUSS cannon. Now, if you follow this exact research tree line, you'll be able to notice that the GAUSS cannon is a bit out of the way because I haven't touched the GAUSS tree at all. And of course, the GAUSS cannon is at the very end of the line. We have to research all the weapons, plus the heavy GAUSS clip to actually access this sub-weapon. Now, if you saw my money making video, then you'll see that this is actually the best way to make money, even though it's one of the worst ship weapons. Now, the reason why I put this last is because you can kind of do this anytime you may be at a, excuse my language, a bit of a cock block in your research line. So say, for example, you need to get to Transmission Resolver, but you don't have a Lobsterman Navigator yet. That's the time to actually start researching down the GAUSS tree, if you don't have anything else good to research. So you can start making money off this kind of blank period where you're not really doing much and you don't have access to that creature to research. Or if you just feel the need to make more money somewhere else in the game, that's also a good time to research some GAUSS. But if if you watch my money making video, you'll realize that you don't really need that much money if you're efficient with your spending. But yeah, do this whenever you want, and make some good money off the GAUSS cannon.